Holy shit. It only took us, 4 years, but our plan finally worked. No more straight people in Team... No more straight people in Team Code Red.
Can't believe we did it.
Well, boys, we've done it. Straight pride is not... Super straights are no more.
Super straight, yeah.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, it's Minos Pride.
Team Code Red.
Intro filler done.
Oh my god.
Welcome back to Are We Queer on Air? Just kidding.
Yes, the answer is yes.
But yes,
The
we
answer
are.
is
Welcome back to another episode of our very beloved podcast. Today we picked out the queerest members to talk a little bit about being gay. We've done a queer special before. Once, that one time, another, that other time. Now we're doing it a third time. But you know, as the times change, so do we. So does everything in the world relating to being a little fruity. So we're back again to talk all about it. Though this time we have a couple new faces. One who is brand new to being on the podcast. So everyone's going to reintroduce themselves, name, pronouns, and any labels that you're comfortable sharing. And I think that we should start all the way down to the right with our stinky newbie.
Stinky.
Who is short and a furry and a twink. Hey, got him.
What the fuck? I'm Mel.
You're
I
high?
go by any, all, and I am pansexual and genderqueer.
Let's go!
Hi. I'm Elle. I go by she, they. I'm ace and trans.
Ooh.
Is it me next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm as. It's pronouns next, right?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all, you don't get to know. Any, all, and labels, right?
Yeah.
Bisexual, non-binary, polyamorous. Am I missing any?
Pick a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what'd you say? What'd you
I
cover
did.
there?
I mean, to be
Bisexual,
fair.
non-binary, polyamorous.
Specifically gender void.
Real. So every time you've done this, as you always you can't get through the whole list without laughing. So I'm always worried it's gonna sound like you're making fun of these identities, but not. That really is just you.
I am.
Yeah.
As you also forgot that you love emo bitches. That's a label.
Oh yes, shit. Fuck. I also really love emo bitches.
Yeah, I just picked the two that I was the most comfortable with.
Real, yeah.
I feel like I've got a few more.
Holy crap, Lois, it's Incarone. It's any all. I don't mind anything as far as labels go. It's a ace for sure. Then pretty much everything else is kind of. I have labels. I don't know if they're fully accurate or not. I just don't really care about finding the exact specific perfect one. But ace is for sure, and then bisexual, I guess. Or I guess biromantic, because asexual. Yeah.
And that's the beauty.
That's
Is
the
that
beauty.
Is that all from you?
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Just kidding. Yeah, this year for the Pridecast, we thought we'd all just be homophobic instead. Anyway, I'm Leaf. Pronouns are she, her. I also use ZZ or neopronouns, but not nearly as much. You can just use she, her. That's chillin'. That's ballin'. And oh lordy lord, I am transgender. I am bisexual. I am happy to be here.
Really?
I feel like that's all. I also do identify as polyamorous, but I'm in a happily married monogamous relationship, so I don't talk about that as much. But yeah, I didn't wear the happy to be here flag on my outfit today, but that's definitely one of them. But yeah, that's me.
Pick a struggle.
There's me.
I'm gonna make you regret being here.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna make you regret being here.
Oh, Christ almighty.
I think Leaf already regrets being here since she has to sit next to me.
Yeah. So to really kick off the queer festivities, we thought it'd be nice, since in the past we've had our members kind of talk about their experiences being queer, coming out stories, anything fun like that. We thought we'd give the mic to the newer folk. Obviously, Mel has never been on the podcast, so that's an obvious one. Elle wasn't here for any of the past Pride ups, so that's also logical. So either of you two, whoever would like to go first, if you would like to share any stories about whether it be coming out, discovering your queerness. For example, I once told the story of how I saw a cute boy on a bicycle and I was like, ah, shit, now I'm bicycle. That wasn't how I wanted it, but anything like that, anything, of course, that you're comfortable sharing is fantastic.
I hate gay people.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a bit. I I suppose the best way to start is I've always like had issues just in general figuring out who I am, and I still do to a point. It's been a lot better now, especially because I came out as trans I came out about 2 years ago, but like there were signs. And I think one of my favorite stories with that coming out was I came out to my grandmother and my mother first because they're the ones that have been the most accepting to who I am as a person, even before like all that. And both of them had about the same reaction, which was, "Yeah, no, I know." And I thought that was so funny to just have like built up this courage and be like, "Oh, I think I might be trans," and then they're just like, "Yeah, no, we knew. We're just waiting for you." And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
And you didn't tell me?
Yeah, pretty well. And yeah, no, I think it's mainly because like I've been so open with those two specifically throughout my life because a lot of my family is very weird about it. Like my dad, I love him, but I don't know. He doesn't want to expose the children to it, I guess, is the way he explained it. But I was like, yeah, well, but yeah, no, it's mainly just my dad's side of the family that's weird, and it's also been a journey. I'm still on actually, figuring out like specific things about it because like I've recently come to terms with the fact that I am very much pan-romantic, but I'm not, pan-sexual. I'm asexual. At least, I feel like I'm okay with putting that label on there. But yeah, no, I think one of the best things to come out of me coming out was my mom then dropping the lore of being like, "Yeah, nah, I'm gender fluid." I'm like, "Huh?"
Hype.
Okay.
Who?
You are?
It caught me so off guard because I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, hi." Because like a while ago, I originally thought that I was gender fluid, but no, I'm pretty comfortable being she/her.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all for stories about coming out and the likes.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna add there because I remember when I met you, you were identifying as gender fluid, and I was still on the path to kind of accepting myself as just a trans woman. I was still very much stuck in this like liminal realm of non-binary and and trans, and I remember you like asked me about my identity, how I kind of got comfortable there. And I remember thinking very fondly about those conversations and talking about gender with you because it made me happy to be able to talk about my experiences, and it made me feel more confident in myself. So it was kind of a nifty little thing there.
Yeah, I mean, talking with people is probably the best way to understanding yourself because there's just there's so much that you can't realize yourself, and it's not to say like, oh, oh, you can't realize it, you fucking bitch.
You
It's
never
just like
realized.
it's just sometimes it's hard to look inwards, and having other people who can do that for you is so beyond helpful.
Oh yeah. Very well said. Nice. That's very moving.
I suppose there is a bit more to that I can talk about. Like, I did ask you, obviously, but I asked a few people because I struggled with it for a long time, and whenever I found out, oh, not everybody feels that they want to be the other gender from frequently, that was kind of the telling point. I was like, oh,
Wait a second.
Huh.
ah,
That's crazy. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who'd have thunk it? But I had like in that year, I had recently met like so many different people that were also like I met a lot of trans women as well, and it was it was a good year. The thing that like I'm trying to organize my thoughts so I'm not just fucking rambling this entire time because I do that a lot.
On this podcast before, you know how that's how it goes.
Yeah. But I had recently met somebody during Halloween, and it was she was such a lovely person, and like I do kind of wish that like I talked to them more because we just fell out of contact. I'm really terrible at keeping contact with people, but it was helpful to talk with them about it and hear their experience. And then I had a friend from high school who I hadn't talked to in a while, and I sent a message like, "Hey, what's up?" Turns out they were trans, and they talked about it with me, and I was like, "Okay, there's a lot of similarities here." And because my brain was like, "But it's not entirely similar," I sort of was rejecting that part of me that was like, "No, no, you are."
You are. I know what you are.
I know what you are. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyways, sorry, I sort of hijacked the conversation there.
The mic was in your hands.
that is how this podcast works.
I know, but I always feel terrible about it.
You give a yapper a mic and you never get it back.
Yeah,
Real.
so Spencer's not here. We couldn't get you.
No, Spencer will make it better.
Just kidding. Well, if Spencer was here, yeah, he would be wearing the "I'm emo bitches" shirt.
I'm emo bitches. Yeah, no, you mentioned the pararomantic thing, and it's like that is because I mentioned about my I guess bi-ness is the as far as like finding specific labels that's part of it is that I just like people whether they regardless of their identity, but I was also explained that bisexual I guess bisexual biromantic bye bitch
Bye.
I would leave actually bye.
Damn.
I was just trying to say is that I was explained that bi means that whether you are attracted to just people, but you can see gender, and like I do fall under that category. Like I do see people's gender, but I don't. It's not really a factor into I guess romantic attraction. Fuck. I could find people attractive, though that does not mean that I am romantically or romantically attracted to them. But yeah, I don't know if any of that is making any sense whatsoever.
No, I get
Perfect
what you
sense.
mean.
Yeah.
Like with all the labels, it gets really confusing when it like gets breaking down into what you're like, what about their body are you attracted versus like just their spirit, and eventually it comes down to like I know myself and a lot of people just use the label that sounds and fits right because I hear so many conflicting definitions and like okay, well,
Yeah, I was I also hadn't identified as bi for a while because I didn't know that preferences were okay. I thought it was supposed to be like a perfect 50-50 split,
oh no,
No, yeah,
and then so somebody had told me someone had mentioned, oh yeah, I'm bi, but I have a preference. Like that's an option.
yeah, no,
can you imagine? It's like I saw you look at one more boy than a girl. By card revoked.
Blackguard revoked.
No, but like, I
no longer
genuinely
clear.
didn't know that it was that the preferences were still valid. I thought it was going to be like a different label or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know
No.
what was going on in my head, but again, the point is, I didn't know that preferences were still valid.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely understandable. I mean, like for me, there's a few labels that I don't talk about just simply because I'm still not entirely sure how they fit. And I say that I'm pan romantic because I don't think I could be with a man, like in a sexual sense.
Mhm.
But like I would be absolutely all right with being with a man like romantically.
Mhm.
Like I kind of I go by pan romantic because I don't know. It literally to me it doesn't super matter what gender you are. If I get along with you, I will I will enjoy a relationship.
Yeah.
Um
I fall in love with personalities.
exactly, yeah. Like my love doesn't come from physical attraction.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that. But with sexual things, that's a whole different story because, as I've said, I'm asexual, and it's helped me get through a lot of my life. And it's also very nice that it is a spectrum. Because there's a lot of people that I talk to that like identify as ace, but have that physical relationship as well. And anyways, the point I'm getting at is lesbian. That's something that I'm not super sure how comfortable I am using, but it does fit more because I prefer women.
Real.
But it's not to say that like I couldn't be with a man.
Yeah. This is a similar thing with me. It's like, yeah, woman good, but man okay too.
Yeah. But if you were to talk to somebody like, I don't know, I kind of wish Noi was here because Noi has some good input on that. Because he's bisexual. And so is Lee.
He's the inverse.
Yeah. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, but I have like talked to him before. It's like he is very open about his sexuality. To be fair.
Oh yeah, no, he's great.
Good on him. Fuck yeah.
So
I feel like that's healthy.
He does not shy away from it, which is really funny.
Oh yeah, no. A lot of people, if you were to ask them, I feel like at least a few of us here would probably like slink away, or at least try to like move the conversation to a different topic. But if you ask Noi about like anything, that man will talk about absolutely any of that shit with anybody.
Yeah.
Love
this
him for
Pride
that.
Month, we're proud of Sir Dauntless.
Yeah, this Pride Month, we are
Yeah.
proud of Sir Dauntless.
Sir
And
Dauntless
probably
Pride.
Sammy from maintenance as well.
Yeah, guy got sent back in time, got sent to the medieval times. Hope he's doing
He's
well.
still alive to this day, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. It's such an interesting topic to talk about, just sexuality in general, because there's so many different viewpoints, there's so many different people, and so many different sexualities because there's so many different people.
Sex.
Actually, you did bring up a really, really great point that I do want to touch on, just because it's something that's important to me, but also important to someone I'm very, very close to. We have this weird connection called these rings on our fingers. Just about like the lesbian label, because I have a lot of friends who like want to use it but are scared to, and I've also been that way, because sometimes like in conversation I will just call myself a lesbian because like I've only been with non-men, and like I've always like I wouldn't say I find men like repulsive. There are definitely some times I'm like, oh, that's a cute little guy, but like by definition, and this is what a lot of people get like scared about, but like being a lesbian is just non-men loving non-men. And so my spouse, who is non-binary, was scared to use it because they're non-binary, but they love other non-binary people and women. But they were scared because there are some people who will get really angry and say you cannot be a lesbian if you don't identify as a woman. But fun fact for you all, because I told this to Evie, and this Pride, they went out and celebrated as a lesbian, and I'm so proud of them. But the flag for the lesbian flag was designed by a non-binary lesbian. So if you want to say that non-binary lesbians are invalid, well, you're gonna need a new flag.
Damn.
Yeah. So I love that fact, and I thought that would be a good thing to air, just because I know sometimes I
Yeah.
find myself tweeting, because I don't know, it might honestly even be a thing to me. I might be bi-romantic, but be just homosexual, just be a lesbian in terms of like intimacy. Because like damn, that's just the way it be. But it's something that's important to me, and I think is important to share, because
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I mean, that's
I just
good to
know so
know.
many people who struggle with that, and they're like, would I like, am I valid? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you are. At the end of the day, they are just words, and it's about picking what suits you. Okay, if someone wants to fight you on the semantics, they can
Kill
go suck.
them.
Like, that is not what's important.
Eat
What's
them.
important is that if you find a label that you think fits you, suits you, fantastic, use it, because truly ain't nobody with something better to do gonna argue about that.
Yeah.
So that was just the piece I wanted to make there, just because it's
Piss.
something that's personal to me and many others that I know. So thank you for touching on that, El, because you opened my brain, you opened my mind.
Thank you for touching
Yeah.
grass.
Thank you for touching grass. That's pretty much what I was saying. Is anyone who argues needs to touch grass. That's a much better way to put it.
They need to go outside.
They need to go outside.
Yes. Back to you. Sorry for hijacking.
Hijack my butt. I don't think you want that, Ryan.
No, that is genuinely very good to know, because in all honesty, it's been a very weird time recently, at least for me, because I've been thinking about it for a while, and that's why I said they at the beginning, but I usually use she her. I do prefer feminine pronouns, and like, would like to be seen more feminine, but not all the time, I guess. So non-binary is a flag that I've thought about using, but I wasn't I'm not too confident to use that as a label just yet. Because there are times where I just want to be like, I just want to be
A creature.
Yeah, I mean, all of the time I want to be a creature, but that's a whole like different thing. It's more, I want to present more androgynous than feminine.
I think I'm for sure I do prefer feminine, but I mean, because I'm not, I guess I guess while my persona is feminine, it's like I don't sound feminine, nor do I look feminine in real life, so it's like doesn't feel like it fits, so I don't use that, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very subjective too. 'Cause, yeah, that's about like how you see yourself, but really, it's like
It's like currently any all is what I use because of those reasons.
but it's kind of weird. It's like I do just see you as like you as your persona. I'm like, this is to me that is just how you look. If I can't, it's so hard. Like, because obviously hormones and surgeries are so fucking expensive, and everyone,
Oh my
everyone's
god,
trying their
yeah.
best to. It's so hard to look how you want to look, but if you
Oh
know
my
who you
god.
are,
Yeah.
it's. I think that's important too, and
Mm.
very empowering. 'Cause
Oh
there's
yeah.
like
Let's say
a whole. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
no. You keep on.
Okay, I was just gonna. I'll keep it brief, but I think I mentioned how it took me a long time to safely land on the trans label. It was just because I was living somewhere where, similar to how you described, I didn't look like I didn't feel like I could be because I didn't look that way. Then I got my own place, and now I can dress however I want, and I'm running around exactly how I want to be, and it is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
yeah.
Very similar for me. I can't dress the way I want though because that costs money.
It's real. It works like
That's
work in
the
fashion.
Yeah, I did. I have explained this in like the previous Pride episodes, but it's like I've kind of always known what I am. I just wasn't necessarily out, I guess, because I don't like it being a big deal. I just want to be me, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's that's why I kind of held it off for so long. It's just because I just hate the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In contrast to me, who
Wait, stop
loves the
talking. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay, in that case, shut the fuck up and get out of here.
Yeah, no, like
I mean,
I fully yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I also
I
didn't
was gonna
want to
say,
be told how to do certain things, like the fact that I'm not okay with, or I do prefer I get feminine pronouns and all that, but because I don't feel that way. I'm fine with any. I didn't want people telling me, "Oh no, but it's fine. You can do exclusively feminine." Yes, I understand that is completely valid and okay. More power to people that do that. I don't wanna.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna. Just
It's
let me do
yeah.
my
I
thing.
absolutely understand where you're coming from because like for me with like feminine clothing specifically, I always worry, I guess is the best way to put it. Because I don't look very feminine. I don't not look very feminine. But I don't know. It's just hard because a lot of things that I want to wear are very kind of have to look feminine, I guess.
Mm,
And sometimes it's just meh.
it's very hard.
very fard.
I was gonna say if we, because I honestly I love talking about this stuff, but just for the sake of it, thought we might circle back to see Mel if you wanted to touch on your experiences at all.
Oh,
I just didn't want you to
yeah.
get forgotten.
I know it's chill.
For
Um,
last.
it was like at the beginning of high school, I guess, when I finally kind of figured out, uh, I like I like women a lot, and it was really scary, like telling people because I was surrounded, like my friends, I love them. They were a little bit more close-minded, I guess,
Hmm.
God bless
but
America.
they still loved me and stuff and everything, and it made me feel so happy. So I was so terrified.
That's good.
I told my mom. She told me I don't know. I'm confused, probably.
Of course.
That sucked, but it it turned out okay later. Then like later on in high school, that was the time where at that time I was identifying as bisexual, and then later in high school I realized, man, people are hot. A lot of people are hot.
Real.
Real.
So yeah, that's when I was like, okay, pan works better. Throughout high
Yeah.
school too, I had struggled so much with like, I don't know, I would be questioning like my gender a lot, and just I was so all over the place. I didn't know because there would be times where I don't know. I used to work at Walmart. There was a time where Walmart
I remember
a
this.
woman came up to me and she referred to me as sir, and
Let's go.
it made me so happy, and I was like, why does this make me so happy?
The egg is cracking.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I don't know. I just kept wrestling with it, and I do still wrestle with it. I don't know. I won't lie. I used to be pretty big chested and stuff. It made me feel miserable because I felt like it was just such a large feminine feature for me. And I used to try to like bind my chest and everything, but it wasn't ideal. And then I got the news that I could get a breast reduction, and that also made me so happy because
Yes.
I realized I didn't have to have that kind of like feature on me anymore. Like just that, and I don't know, I felt like I could be more who I am and everything. And ever since then, I've been so happy with just I don't know. I feel so like I feel like I am what I'm supposed to be, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
I get
But
you.
It makes sense in the
That
way that
makes
like
sense.
you're about to make me cry.
I just I don't know. There was a time where I almost couldn't get it because of insurance.
Oh god.
And I remember thinking like this is it. Like I don't know how I could do anything because I can't be who I want to be. Like I can't look the way I want to look, and I don't know. It was very very nice to finally be able to look in the mirror and say, you know, like I look more like almost androgynous,
Mhm.
and it I don't know. It was probably one of the best things to ever happen. Nobody else knows that I identify necessarily as genderqueer. I don't live in a very gray area, so it's important to me to just I don't know. I just I don't want to be in a dangerous spot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess I could also talk about the American experience.
America.
If you well, once you're done, I don't want to interrupt.
Nah, you good. Go right ahead. The
Your
American
mom,
experience.
your mom,
No.
your mom. You got him. Yeah, God bless America. Yeah, I lived in the old Yeehaw land, Texas.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
Gee, Houston. I realized Houston's like super southern. That's like
Mhm.
one of the southest south you can possibly get.
Oh yeah.
You don't get much more south than that.
That is like one of the few things that I can relate with Noi about is the experience of the South. Yeah, I mean Texas. Well, Houston specifically. I didn't live in Houston specifically, but I lived near Houston, and therefore we had a very diverse place because Houston's a big city, and big cities will attract a lot of. I mean, because there's so many job opportunities, it brings in a lot of people from all over the place and all walks of life. Therefore, the area that we lived in was thankfully pretty diverse.
Good.
Which I do miss because I, to be perfectly honest, this area that we currently live in is not the most, I guess, racially diverse for one.
Definitely not.
It is more just gender sexually diverse, if that makes sense, but race, nah.
You're white over here.
Yeah, these bitches white.
We do have one of the higher population of Middle Eastern people, though, and which I learned recently. Sorry, that's not at all to do with what is happening, but
No, that
Found
is
that out
related.
very recently. Oh yeah, it was, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, no, I guess. Anyways, point is that it was racially diverse, but not necessarily in the sense of LGBT.
That took me a hot second. I was like, what the hell did they just say?
LGBT, but I pronounced
Yeah.
it instead of saying the
No, yeah,
letters.
Ligabutta.
LGBT.
Ligabutta. I should have known Ligabutta.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Lickabuddha? What? Okay.
I will not do that. um, yeah. Point is that the place, I guess, wasn't. I don't really know how accepting it necessarily was, because gender and sexuality was not really talked about in high school or in that place where I lived. It might be because of the circles that I would the people I would interact with. I guess my friend groups did not really talk about that kind of thing. Also, just in general, that wasn't really a topic of conversation. Like,
Yeah.
there was only one person that I knew was trans, and there was only one other person that that was. No, there were a few gay people. Oh yeah, I knew someone that was bi, but like the LGBT was fairly rare in that area.
Like a shiny Pokemon.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily it wasn't necessarily homophobic in the area either, because most people just didn't care. And people that had issues, if they did have issues, I guess never really said anything.
Good.
Texas is typically a Republican. No, wait. Was it? It's been a Democratic state like the past few elections, I think, if I remember correctly.
No.
No.
Well, I
'Cause
know
I-
San
I-
Antonio was pretty.
I know historically it's been Republican, but I think I remembered it being Democratic once. But
Sorry, like the whole state or just
the whole state. Whenever
Yeah.
there's the U.S. elections, you know, it's always Republican or Democratic. Texas has historically been Republican, but I don't remember if recently they've shifted Democratic.
It might have been recently because I know Evie said that San Antonio was like very like it was
yeah.
very safe there.
No, it definitely depends on where you go, because Houston was, or at least the place that I was, they were fine. I don't, they were, I say fine because I did not see anything that was against nor for. Texas as a whole is a whole other issue, because recently with they illegalized gay marriage, which I don't think you should be allowed to. That is I'm pretty sure that is a federal law, and you can't do that. You can't just undo a federal law on a state level.
They're doing a whole bunch of things against their federal government right now.
I guess it is also Texas.
Yeah.
Texas. I don't. They were able to reserve some rights whenever they seceded to the union, but I don't think that they have enough rights to bypass federal law like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that should not be possible. That shouldn't. You can't just illegalize same-sex marriage. We've had this whole song and dance and everything already. We've. Why are we going back? Just all of America is just actively regressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you mean the great country where you can be a convicted felon and still run for president?
Oh, God.
They're doing awesome. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But
Yeah,
I
we're
just
not
love
getting
this
into
in America.
politics today.
Yeah, but like even because Florida is particularly awful. If we had Red here, be able to shed a bit more lights, but a bit more light. But I also have lived in Florida before. But just the fact that, because actually I don't know if it was specifically Florida, but there's some places that are wanting to imprison teachers for supporting trans youth, or imprisoning parents as well for helping trans youth, and also the forcing people to detransition. That was also a plan, which is wonderful. But like the thing is with trans youth, the people concern of, oh, but what if they regret it later in life? The hormone blockers that prevent puberty, those are reversible. Like, if you're unsure about your gender identity and therefore want to take the hormone blockers to stop puberty, you can, and you decide, actually, no, I am cis or whatever it is, or the gender I was born with, that I was assigned there, is the correct one, or the one that I identify with most. If you stop the hormone blockers, the puberty will still have its effects. It just delays it, so you have more time to choose. That is the whole point of it. And also, hormone replacement therapy is it's nothing new. That's always been around. That's always existed.
Been here the whole time.
It's been around for cis people as well, for low estrogen or testosterone levels. It's just recently been used for trans people to make them look the way they want, to help them achieve the goals of which they have. I don't know how to word it properly. Just kill me.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty damn right. Hormones make me feel happy.
Hormones make me lose control. Hormones make me lose control. What's going on?
What do we want? Estrogen. What do we want it now? No, that was a very well put.
I feel like a lot of issue with, like, you know, the hormone replacement therapy and all that actually comes from, like, ignorance, I guess is the best way to put it. Because, like, I don't know, there was a genuine person that was talking about it, and it was like, it was, they were talking about, like, how they get estrogen. And just, they were like, yeah, no, they siphon the estrogen from women. And the fucking, whenever they're asleep, whenever they put them under, they just harvest it from them. Without,
obviously.
Like, sure, buddy, you know.
How did you know?
How did you know? And it's just like, I don't know, again, I just feel like a lot of hatred comes from ignorance.
Yeah.
There was a thing like a while ago, which was the reason why so many people are, you know, a little dumb is because of just lack of access to information. But we live in the age of information, and they're still there. So it's not entirely information.
I feel like a lot of it is also misinformation.
Yeah, we also have
into
a shit ton of misinformation that just happens.
Yeah. So the thing, I understand right. I can understand where people are coming from with the concern of, oh, what if people regret it or whatever, or regret the decision. Most of HRT is reversible. There's a few things that aren't reversible, but also just let people do their thing. You get told about all the risks, and you were made very clear. It's like, hey, these are the risks, these might happen, blah blah blah.
Right.
It's like, you know what you're getting yourself into.
Because that's the real thing. It's like a cry. Because, like, sure, logically, yeah, telling someone not to irreversibly change their body makes sense, but you can't do it just willy-nilly. You have to go through, like, to get approved for it. You need to get a psychiatric diagnosis for gender dysphoria. Only then can you move on to hormones. Like, you can't just accidentally walk into it. You have to know.
Oops, all estrogen.
It's got to be like, you've got to be a professional dumbass to go in not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, I can sort of touch on that quite a bit because of, you know, recently I've been able to actually get access to hormones.
Let's go.
And that is so very exciting for me. The amount of process that I had to go through was a lot. And the amount of people that currently, like, want to do it and all that, there is literally so many people. There's enough people that fall under that there is actually a shortage of doctors to do it, because there's because of the egregious amount of process that you have to go through, which is like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, for some people like myself, it's been a whole fucking ordeal. Because
The
in order to
process
do
getting that stuff shouldn't be as difficult as it is.
yeah, like I do understand difficulty, but I don't know. There's also a big thing that I saw at the very least with my doctor. Shout out, she's amazing. But the thing was, since I was having such a hard time getting anything, like, it is physically taxing on me. She was like, okay, I'll see if I can do, like, a course to figure this out. And this is what leads to a lot of a lot of issues with such, like, why so many doctors are filled. Because now transitioning and all that is covered under general education, but people who have gone through the, like, the what's it called?
Medical school?
Yeah, medical school, who did not get that in their general thing, now can't do it because it's under general. So they should already know it. I'm using air quotes here. When it's like, it's a whole lot, really. Anyways, sorry, I yapped a lot. Anyways, point I was getting at was, there's a process for a reason, but the reason why that process is so long for some people is because, like, there's just not enough because of how many things. I absolutely understand having difficulty, because, like, you shouldn't just have direct access to it.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
But again, like, I had to wait. I think the waiting list was 2 years.
Ugh.
Because I have to go through a psychologist who would then diagnose me with gender dysphoria, and then see an entirely different doctor to give me the medication. Personally, I think that's a little dumb, because my doctor can monitor my situation. I'm constantly with my doctor, and I know my doctor. And they can prescribe it as well. I don't need a whole new doctor for that. I don't know. It's just a lot. There's a whole lot.
Mic drop. Facts, Queen.
Doctors are hard to contact. At least mine is, because apparently I can only contact them through phone calls, and I would rather just, send an email. It's simpler and more convenient.
Last time I tried to talk to my doctor, he got into a big blue box and just left.
Well,
So
actually,
thanks a lot.
Sorry, I did need to go.
I mean, I guess this isn't super related, but I mean, we were on the topic of doctors. But one of my doctor actually did just genuinely up and leave in the middle of me talking about issues, being like, "Hey, can I have start the process of these diagnoses or whatnot?" And he just actually hung up and left the building in the middle of the whole thing. So yeah,
They really said, nah, it's okay.
nah,
Don't
you'd
worry
lose.
Yeah,
Nah, you
lose.
lose. And then just hangs up. Yeah, it's
Doctors
something
are
else.
great.
Yeah, it's also because of, like, how doctors are, like, there's just not enough.
Yeah.
And, like, there's so many issues with there not being enough. Like,
Real.
Yeah. It's like I would get a different doctor, but there's literally no other doctor to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Please let me have the body I wish for.
Mm-hmm.
So just to put a little footnote there, Mel, unless you had any more stories, thank you for sharing the ones you did. Both of you, thank you. I thought now if myself, Ryan, or Az want to share any stories from updates in the last like what year and a half since we touched on this topic, it'd be a good time. Or we can move onward to other queer stuff like media representation, because there's luckily this is a good thing consistently more, which makes me very happy. And there's a bunch I'd love to talk to,
Yes.
but we haven't heard Az's sweet voice in a little bit, so
As is
Sorry,
also
yeah.
currently muted.
Yeah. There it is.
That's crazy.
I knew it.
It's crazy.
What about me? What's
Anyways.
going on?
Did you have any stories you wanted to share about your own identity or just any other impactful gay things that have happened to you?
Can I talk about the time I was forced to come out?
You of course you can. We're
Yeah.
talking about goods and unfortunates.
Yeah, I was just talking about the unfortunateness of fucking doctors.
Oh,
And sorry, before we give the mic to Az, I just wanna hammer it home one more time. You don't need hormones. You don't need surgery. You're trans if you're trans. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'll fucking fight you.
Oh my
Trans
god,
masculine.
yeah.
Just had to quickly give that. Now it's Az's turn. I just that thought to me was like I should probably say that.
Yes.
So, when I was like 18, 19 was when I first started questioning gender. And stop me if I've told this one before on a podcast because I can't remember.
It's been a few years. It's fine.
I was 18 or 19 when I started questioning my own gender, and I was like experimenting. The first thing I started with was demi boy, demi girl, demi boy. Because I didn't really know what I was, and that one just kind of it was nice. It was like you're a boy, but also you're not, or however other people interpret it. And then I was like, nah, I don't really like that. So I went back to identifying as a cis guy for a little bit. And then I realized that I wasn't. And I was something else entirely. And I am one of those motherfuckers that needs the labels. I can't exist without them. I need a specific thing and word for what I am, for what I do. Because if I don't have that to explain, then I can't tell people what I am. In my head, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And so I then realized that just because non-binary is an umbrella term doesn't mean I can't identify as it. So I started identifying as non-binary. And during this time, my friends, who I don't think. Yeah, it wasn't TCR at the time. TCR was there, but like the first people I came out to was not TCR. It was different internet friends. They were super supportive. A lot of them actually bought me like feminine clothing and stuff like that because I could not afford it at the time. And there was one day where I was at my house, a package came in, and no, not a package, sorry. I had washed one of the skirts that my friends bought for me, not thinking anything of it, being like, oh, my parents, they wouldn't care about this thing. It's literally just a skirt. It's not a big deal. They found it. They made me sit outside with them, because they were in the backyard, just sitting outside on a summer day. And they started questioning me as if I'd done something horrible, and I was like, I don't know what you guys are on about. What's the big deal? And they bring out the skirt, and they go, what the fuck is this? And I went, a skirt? And my parents are people who, throughout my life, have taught me to be kind and to be accepting of people, and we're always, like, super accepting of gay people and stuff like that. I mean, it's weird. My parents are weird. They were always accepting of gay people, but every time that came to me, it felt like they didn't want that for me, and I don't know where it came from. But they showed me the skirt, and they went, "What the fuck is this?" And started asking me if I was trying to become a girl or some shit, but their faces were like filled with like, well, my mom's face was like filled with like anger and disgust, and it made me feel horrible. I've never seen my mom look like that before to anything that was related to that kind of thing. It was like really surprising and really jarring, and I had to like tell them no, and then they kept questioning me and kept like forcing me to tell them what's going on. So I told them that I identified as something called non-binary, and they got really pissed off. And it was scary. It was frustrating and hard to have that conversation with two people who just did not want to listen to a word I had to say.
Mhm.
God, yeah.
And eventually, it's like 3 years later, and I've known my preferred name for like a year, like since I came out actually, because at that point I was going by Azriel. Um, they've known that name, and they just like the only person who refuses, or the only person who actually like parent who actually makes the effort is my conservative old stepfather, my dad, the guy who raised me. The conservative one is the one who actually like tries, who seems to actually try. Because whereas when it comes to my mom, I was like, do you want me to like just give you a gentle correction or a reminder whenever you mess up? And she went, no, don't do that. I'll call you whatever I want to call you. And I was like, cool, awesome. Really seems like you're supportive on that. But
Mhm.
it's just been a hard and like frustrating journey when the two people who you're supposed to trust the most just kind of leave you out to hang, I guess.
Mhm.
Just like ostracize you and make you feel weird and make you feel wrong for wanting that kind of thing. When they have no one else to blame but themselves for this, to be honest with you. They raised me as the kind of kid who didn't like, there was no such thing as boys toys or girls clothes or boys clothes. There was no such
Mhm.
thing as a girl color or a boy color. Throughout my whole life, everything was just basically non-binary. So it was the to put in perspective of like my confusion, it's like confusion when they were so upset that when I came out is like, imagine if like someone was like, oh yeah, I'm a vegetarian, or I'm a vegan, and I don't eat meat, but I don't care if you eat meat around you, getting mad at you for eating meat around you.
Mhm. I'm chill with your choices. How fucking dare?
Yeah. And
It's
then
your
like,
choice to
but like
make. I just don't respect it.
when it's anyone else's kid, it's a perfectly fine and acceptable thing. But like when I do it, it's the most difficult and frustrating thing in the world.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
It would ever be my child. Oh my god, it's my child. What the
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
and
Incarone
Shouldn't be
Jr.
my child. Is my child. Oh no, my child.
it was like when I came out as bisexual, I've told this story before on the first podcast. My mom went, "No, you're not," and then I had to wait a year to tell her again. And when I did, she was like, "Okay."
Mm.
It's like, what, you needed that year to like come to terms with
I
it?
get it. Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
And then ever since then, any new thing about my sexuality, gender, or anything like that, I just don't tell my parents now.
Mhm.
Can't blame you.
Yeah, I could not imagine why.
Huh, that's crazy. Yes, I know, it's very hard to believe.
That's what found families for.
Yeah, my God.
So, did you have more, Az? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I don't have any more.
Cool. So
That
I was
was
gonna say
pretty
we
much it.
just do a quick segue to highlight any just like cool media representation moments because we all consume a lot of fucking media, and there's a few that I'm really excited about and want to talk about. Then I thought we could talk about any other like we've been talking about a lot of like really kind of sad stuff, which is very important to highlight. So I thought talk some representation and then some personal highlights. Seeing how the time goes though, because we're yappers. We love talking about being gay.
Oh
I don't know what
yeah.
you're talking
hate
about. What
gay
I was
people.
talking about was really funny.
Yeah, you're
Also,
right. You're right.
my segue's out of battery.
Oh, here you can get onto
Yeah.
mine. We can ride together.
Ew.
Okay.
You.
Better kill you and steal your segue.
Does anybody have any big representation moments they want to share? Because I've got a few in my pocket, but
It's
I
the
love hearing other people talk.
first one that hit the neuron activation was Owl House.
Let's go. I
Oh
know
my
we've
god,
definitely
Owl
talked
House.
about Owl House before, but I don't think it was like we had just gotten to season 2, so there's more that we didn't talk about.
I see. Yeah, they were definitely not canceled because of the bisexuality. Definitely not.
No, but
As-
you know
as-
what? Good on them for all that
Disney
smooching.
would never do that.
As much as Disney was like trying to say it's like, oh, it just didn't fit with what we want for our kids show. Yeah, sure, buddy.
It just you
Pretty sure what
greenlit
they
it.
said was it wasn't making them enough money or some shit like that.
The-
When
the-
it was their top viewed thing on Disney Plus, and
Yeah.
then they tried to double down and be like, "Oh, it just doesn't fit with like our vibes or
Our
anything."
brand.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean the gayness in it?
Yeah, you mean the
sure,
being
sure.
gay part?
Honestly, I find it so funny how this is kind of similar topic, but the fact that Alex Hirsch was able to get away with the gay cops and just gaslight Disney into be like, yeah, no, they're just really good friends.
Oh yeah.
That
I love
was-
them.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's really funny, but yeah, the fact that Owl House almost got canceled because of, I mean, it technically did get canceled because they were gonna have a full third season and not have like 4, I guess, movies because they were like an hour long, so I count them as movies. But they were gonna have like a proper third season and then a finale, a big hour finale. I think it was the original plan. I don't know if it was supposed to be 3 seasons and then movie or just 3 seasons with a big finale. Point is, your mom. You could also tell the Amity Lou's kiss scene. That's where all the budget went. And they
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm glad that in the extra the hour-long episodes for season 3 that they had a part where they really just said fuck you to Disney and had a whole section that was just like I'm bi with Luz coming out to her mom and everything and so many
Oh, that was so
pride
good,
flags.
yeah.
That's really funny. I'm really
No, you just totally just reminded me. I actually like just the idea of showrunners just bamboozling Disney, being like, "Thanks for all the money. Now look at these gay people."
Mm-hmm.
Is
yeah.
my favorite, and that's the one that I want to talk about. Is actually right in the same vein.
But I was there's actually one more thing. One more
Yeah.
thing.
One more thing.
The fact that even after all of that, Disney had the gall to then use the Amity Lou's kiss scene for promotional material. Just be like, oh my god, look at the gay people. Oh my god, look, we're so accepting. We didn't cancel the show. What are you talking about? No.
No, I remember that. That was so scummy. They're like, yeah, look, Lumity, like, shut up.
I'm so excited for Denataris to do other things for not Disney.
Real.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Denataris is pretty cool.
I got something, but I will say it after other people.
Yeah, I'll get mine out of the way because just the topic of Disney came up. Now I will say this is mild spoilers for the recent Doctor Who, but it's gay spoilers. So,
It's fine.
hide if you must. But so they recently just came back with their whole new era with the 14th and 15th Doctors, right? And the whole reason it's a new era is because now BBC is being funded by Disney. Disney is giving them money so that way they can distribute it. Disney gets to say that they own Doctor Who. BBC gets to have an actual budget. It's awesome. What do they do in the first episode? Have a 5-minute scene just talking about being trans. Fuck you. Fuck you, haters. First scene
Yeah.
they introduce a trans girl character where they have a like extensive scene where her like grandma's like struggling to like get her pronouns right, but then her mom's like defending her like, mom, like I don't care that you don't get it, like she's your granddaughter, and she's the fucking bomb. And then at the end of the specials, the doctor calls her his niece, and she's like, niece, awesome, and it's so fucking good. And then if that wasn't good enough in the new season, there's just a whole episode where I can summarize the plot as the doctor is just gay. He's just gay for a bounty hunter, and he's gay for him back. And the whole episode, they're just flirting. They are just flirting. And I was
That's
like, oh my
awesome.
god, this is so good. And then in the climax, they just actually kiss. And people are like, oh, but the doctor's kissed boys before. But every time, it's been a joke. It's another character kissing the doctor for a reaction as a joke. But this time, it's actually romantic. And now he's wearing the guy's fucking ring on his finger. So you tell me that that's not romantic. And it makes me so happy because I love that show so much. And to see explicit and like unavoidable gay rap, and on Disney of all places, yeah, get fucked. Get absolutely
Real.
screwed. Because yeah, there's a main trans girl character, and the Time Lord himself kisses boys, and he likes it. So-
boy kisser.
So everyone,
The Time
be
Lord's
like,
first
"They made the-"
crush was also a boy.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, that made me very happy. I have never like there's so like I love seeing representation on screen, but I think we've also talked a bunch in the past about how strangely it seems that more like WLW relationships will make it through. So to see an MLM relationship, especially being the main character, and also it's a biracial pairing too, which the episode touches on because it takes place in the 1600s and everyone's racist and homophobic. But they kiss anyway, and it's awesome, and I love it. So thank you. This is my TED Talk. I love woke Doctor Who. No, I will say some of the rep is like they're kind of stupid, but they're trying, and I love it.
Yeah. I bet you the only reason why Disney was like okay with it was, hey, remember when the doctor was a girl? Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah, Disney's like, this shit's already woke.
Yeah.
I can't keep using that word. It's rotting me.
You goddamn liberals and their woke ass shit, and they're turning everything woke.
So yeah, to segue terribly, because I'm not trying to segue here. There's a show, and I need to preface this with Japan has always been kind of like Disney, just
Yeah.
any sort of gay representation or anything like that is almost immediately like shot down. So some of my favorite like games and shows from Japan actually have a lot of representation. For example, Guilty Gear.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll bring that up.
Oh yeah, Brisket.
Yeah, Brisket is a canonically trans girl, but also they have a non-binary character, which is Testament, who, when they originally showed up, their whole thing was like it was a very effeminate man for when they first showed up, and was referred to as he him. But in the more recent one, like I wouldn't say like super effeminate. I would say, like I said, more effeminate. And then now, if you look at them, they have so much more. Like, it's hard to figure out what they are from looking at them, and I think that's amazing. Also, another thing is Naoki, the composer for Guilty Gear, has some of the best songwriting ideas. The entire thing called Like a Weed Naturally as a Matter of Course, or I think it's Like a Weed Naturally. The entire song, every single time it refers back to Testament, changes from he to she, and then she to he.
Awesome.
So it's, oh, she flies to be the wings of the flightless, fly high. Hang on. Let me try to find the... Yeah, it goes, oh, she flies, and then the next one, because that's the chorus, is "Oh He Flies," and it's so fucking good. Like, I'm such a big fan of that. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk about. It is a very good representation and one of the first ones in like gaming media from Japan. I'm not saying the only one, but I'm saying one of the most recent, and you know. And then there's a show called "I'm in Love with the Villainess," which I believe Ryan and Mel are able to touch on because we watched that together.
I'm gonna put up that one screenshot on screen.
One screen, yes.
You know exactly
As
what
you
I'm talking
should.
about.
Oh
Good
my
show.
God, yeah. Such a good show.
Gay people. I was not expecting them to have that whole scene of just actually talking about sexuality and discrimination.
Yeah, like there's a screenshot which I'm sure Ryan has pulled up by now, which is, are you what they call gay? And then they just have a full chat about sexuality.
Yeah. Because they actually even touched up on like a few misconceptions. Because there was one of the characters. They had said something about they had implied that it was a choice, and then one of the other characters was like, "No, it's not a choice. I'm just actually unable to have feelings towards men."
Like it's so good, and it's a step in such a great direction.
Mm-hmm. Also, since Guilty Gear was mentioned, shout out to Daisuke on Twitter with his Gear Star.
Yeah, real.
Just actually responding to the various transphobes and everything has been like, "Oh, Gear Star, you're cringe," shit like that.
Yeah, let's get them asses.
God, it's so fucking funny. Anyway, sorry. Keep going. What you're saying? If I did interrupt you.
No, it was really just like you really did touch on everything that I wanted to talk about. It's just such a step in the right direction because of like censoring that shit in media.
Mm-hmm.
And having people exposing more people to it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy with how things are rolling specifically that way.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Because in regards to media.
Yeah, in regards to media.
Like I was saying about the Doctor Who stuff, it just meant a lot that it wasn't just here's a character who's trans, is that it was a part of the episode. And honestly, the more they talked about it, the cornier it was. But again, it was a nice the thought was nice, and it was, especially for people like my father who are obsessed with Doctor Who but not obsessed with gendering his kids correctly. I think that'll be a really good episode for him to watch.
Yeah.
Shout out, Dad.
If he watches it.
Yeah. Oh, he wants to. He needs to watch it. Or did you mean the podcast?
No, I mean the episode.
Yeah, the Doctor Who. Yeah. That was me planting a seed for Segue, unless people had more representation. Because if so,
Segue my
hell yeah.
balls.
I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog scared me.
Dog jump scare, potato jump scare.
What you got,
Yeah.
Queen?
Well, for me personally, I don't see like a lot of representation for like a lot of the different things that I am like in the things that I consume at least. But very recently, then this isn't a new thing, but very recently people have been realizing that Frenchie from The Boys is bisexual.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to talk about how, well, it's important to have like good representation and stuff like that in media of like good, healthy relationships and stuff like that. It's also pretty important to show like that everything that a straight person can experience like a lesbian or a gay person can also experience with toxic relationships. For example, The Boys, again, using them because I started watching them again.
Let's go.
Nice.
What's her name? The
Queen
Wonder
Maeve?
Woman knockoff.
Queen
Yeah,
Queen
yeah,
Maeve,
she's a lesbian,
Mhm.
just fully.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah.
forced to pretend she's not. And she's in a relationship with someone, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly.
She is.
And it was just toxic. It was just horrible because of the fact that Maeve had to hide it and pretend like she wasn't. And it was just both Maeve and her girlfriend were not nice to each other because they just weren't getting what they wanted or needed from that relationship.
Mm.
And good representation is great. Showing a bad relationship but not demonizing the sexuality, I think kind of is even better.
It rocks.
Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
you look
Like,
at
it's important.
media in the past, they will show gay relationships but make it the most demonized thing ever. And it's always like a toxic relationship, and then like some guy swoops in to save the girl or something like that in the comics, right?
Mhm.
But with this, it was an unhealthy relationship showed in a non-demonizing way of the sexuality that those characters were, and that's really good. It's same with Frenchie's relationships, because if you've watched the show, you know Frenchie doesn't have a good track record.
Mhm.
He's trying, but no, he's not. He's
But yeah, so that's like the most recent thing that I can think of. I don't see like any. I would talk about polyamory, but I have not seen any representation of that in any of the media I consume.
Mhm.
I've not
That I
seen
actually
good
enjoy.
representation.
the closest
'cause
I could think of. Oh, sorry, Ozzy, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's no good representation because all the people that would be making the representation are from an older generation with like different standards. So to us, it's probably not great representation, but to them,
Yeah.
it's probably awesome representation.
Mhm.
Well, I was just gonna mention for those who are chronically on TikTok, there is this one fantastic duo. They're a polyamorous couple. The two of them have been together for ages, but they're polyamorous, and so they have their own like TikTok series. It's super elaborate. It's on YouTube too, and it's just about the highs and lows and struggles of polyamory. Like it's pretty much just like following their life around, and it's really cool. It's literally just called the Poly Couple, and it's awesome.
Polycool.
Yeah. But I also wanted to quickly circle back to The Boys because the representation is really good. But another thing it does good is also with Maeve's arc scrutinizing rainbow capitalism. Because if you didn't know, the villain
my
in The
God,
Boys
yeah.
is a corporation, and so once Maeve's sexuality does come out, like fuck it, and suddenly there's like Queen Maeve lesbian Bud Lights. That's not an actual example, but they capitalize it, and they're like be gay like Maeve. And it's
Mhm.
awful for her. She hates it, and it does a great job of showing how fucking annoying and awful rainbow capitalism is. And another cool thing they did in the new season is they cast a new character who's played by a lesbian, and her character's so homophobic. And she said that she felt like she was made for the role.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Those gay people are the most homophobic people you'll ever meet.
It's true.
It's
Yeah,
so
well-
true.
You have no idea how many slurs get slung around this server.
That's a joke for legal reasons.
For legal reasons, that is real.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that into the bus as well.
Throw that under the bus.
But yeah, no. Moral of the story is there's a lot of better representation nowadays about LGBT just in general.
It's really nice to see. Yes.
But we as
What am I
TCR
gonna
can
say?
do better. And we are.
Wait! I just remembered something.
No.
I'm so sorry. Wasn't Frenchie in a poly relationship?
Yeah, actually, he might have been. I haven't watched. It's been a while since I've watched the show.
I need to rewatch that. The first season, I think.
Yo, what you
Because-
got, Mel?
I think he was actually. I remember watching that. Also, I don't know if y'all have talked about it. There's a bit of spoilers, but Shira in the Princess
Uh,
of Power.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Shira's pretty has been out for a few years. I feel like spoilers are fine.
Yeah, that show made me cry so hard because it touched a part of my heart, and I don't know. It's really good.
I hate gay people.
My God.
We've I know for sure we talked about it extensively in the past, but like to this day it's still awesome.
Yeah.
The amount of gay characters. Actually, sorry, the shortage of straight characters is really impressive.
For real.
Entrapped on my beloved.
Based.
Yeah, much like TCR, there's a fund of straight people.
Shoutouts to our token straights, Will and Emma.
Did we want to touch up on, I guess, our own stuff, or we want to wrap it up, seeing as we don't have much time left?
Yeah, I'd love to do that, but I don't think we can.
I
Yeah.
wanted to get just one quick anecdote actually, because I made a shady comment about my dad, and he is always like he was one of the first people to know I was trans, and has been one of the last people to get with the program. But I just wanted to quickly share some personal highlights because this year I got married, and I got to get married as a bride. I was the wife, and that was really, really important to me. That's probably the prettiest I've ever felt. And it was very, very magical. And since
It
then,
really was.
since that day, my dad has now gotten a lot better, and now he's actually correcting himself on my pronouns, which means a
Ah.
lot. And so that meant a lot because it really took him a long time to really get it. But that day, on my wedding day, the prettiest I've ever felt, the most just gender euphoric, was the first time I heard him call me his daughter, and that also meant a lot to me. And just in general, like a lot of my family were obviously around, and just the casual things like my uncle being like, "Oh yeah, this is my niece Leaf," were like meant so much. And now there's been moments where like our good friend Lex, suck your brain. One time we were having dinner and I had to go to the bathroom. And we're like, no, come on, we're going to the bathroom you belong in. And they helped me use the bathroom I felt comfortable using for the first time. And little
Aw.
things like that, like just they do so much, and it's felt so nice. And I don't think I've ever felt so happy and proud to be me. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because that really means a lot. It really feels good to be loved and seen as myself.
Oh yeah.
Yay, gay rights!
Yay, gay
Right.
people! I
Trans
hate gay
rights.
people! Let's go!
Boo.
Homophobia! Wait, oh,
Wait a
uh,
second.
this is the wrong podcast, my bad. I thought this was a super straight cast.
No, that'll be next episode. Tune in, gang.
Tune in to next episode where we shit on gay people the entire time.
And the whole thing is censored because it's just us saying slurs.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a perfect outro right there. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe for more homophobic content.
See you next time we go on air. Bye bye.
Bye.